Failcast, once again back at full strength. I'm Jack.
I'm Watson.
I'm Bobmus.
And I'm Jesse.
AKA something or other.
Wycymru.
Anyway.
It's amazing that an American can pronounce a Welsh word and the English can't.
Well,
I don't live anywhere near Wales.
It's a defunct word.
Well, I'm from Yorkshire, we hate the Welsh, so I have to not be able to pronounce anything of theirs on principle.
I mean, it's a pretty pointless language, to be honest. Yeah, it's... what's the point in having Welsh? It's just like the same as what's the point in having Gaelic still? You know, it's no point of it anymore.
And you've lost about
Novelty
10
and charm.
listeners.
It's probably so that you and your best friend can learn to speak it and then talk about people behind the back while you're in front of them.
But
It's
that
like
only works if
advanced
you're not
pig
in
Latin.
Wales. Yeah.
Mind you, they still do the thing in Wales where they'll have the English version of the road sign and then they'll have the Welsh translation.
I think they
So
do.
their signs are...
Yeah, and then there was the thing that the English road sign and it was like, you know, road work ahead or something, and then there was the Welsh translation and it was, the translator is not in at the moment, please call back at another time.
All I know is
Yeah, that's a good one.
when I was speaking earlier to Jack, and we were talking about Wales, he kind of started mentioning sheep. And then I thought to myself,
Standard.
Not only am I a descendant of Welshmen, but I'm also in Wyoming, which is the largest sheep producing part of the country. So essentially I'm...
Do you have any particular affiliations with New Zealand at all to tie it all home?
Nope, but I'm no stranger to sheep jokes.
Right, now, I'm gonna begin a very expansive one here. There was a documentary I watched on pigs that was hosted by this guy called Jamie Oliver, and basically he got a pig breeder on, which is basically the poshest looking guy you can imagine in a suit with like, and he was like balding, and he was like, oh yes, well I breed pigs, you see, and basically he gave a demonstration on screen of collecting semen from pigs. So basically this guy's a guy that gives hand jobs to pigs. So I have to ask, was that ever a process for you with sheep?
Or did you just go straight for tongue in mouth?
Well, I like how the assumption is I even worked with them, but the answer is no.
Well, it's the calling of your blood, isn't it?
You see, I'm pretty sure my ancestors left Wales for a purpose, and it was to find a better job.
Because it was
So now we
horrible
work.
and
So now we work
cold
with
and...
cows.
Oh, much
Oh.
better.
We stepped up, maybe.
I wouldn't have said so.
So video games.
Yes, video games. Yeah, as I was saying before, I've been trying to decide whether to buy Far Cry 3 or XCOM.
Yeah, the biggest thing I've got with Far Cry 3, as I said, was I just think it's, for what it is, for a big open world game like that, I thought it was actually quite short.
Well, did you just like plunge right through the story when you did it?
No, I left the story till last. Unfortunately, by doing that, I ended up pretty much invincible, absolutely awesome, and you know, that whole kind of... Basically, I've managed to collect so much of these skill points, essentially, that when all the skills were unlocked, which is like at certain points in the game, I could actually buy them all off the bat without actually having to collect any more. So it was kind of slightly pointless in a way. So I was doing the missions and then instantly was massively powerful, and it did. You know, it was, and the fact that that was completely available like that was, I didn't even think of it. I was just doing all the side missions and just happened to end up really kind of, you know, extra skilled and stuff like that. But, and then it kind of ended. Just, yeah.
Well, that sounds like a good reason for me to go for XCOM then, because maybe it has more replay value.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
if you like sort of turning your friends into soldiers and watching them die, you know, it has that
Oh, I
bonus.
love that. Of course. My favourite thing to do is open up a game of Faster Than Light, name the crew members after whoever's pissed me off at the time, and fly them into a supernova.
Or Oregon Trail. I think that was the best joke we did in grade school, was we all had to play Oregon Trail.
Oh, I've heard of that.
So it was...
Isn't that like, you know, you'll get
You
cholera
die
and
of dysentery, yeah.
Yeah, and it was a race between the class to see who could give who the worst death. It was an educational game, but I gave all my friends broken legs or cholera, or they drowned in a river.
I see.
How does the game play? Is it a text adventure or is it a
No, it's
an actual
click based, and it's an old. I don't even remember what the system was for when I played it on, but you had options, so you could choose between like a banker, a farmer, a couple of different classes, and all it does is determine how much money you have to start with. So banker's like easy mode, because you have the most money,
right.
and then you buy supplies.
Well, surely feel like a Ranchi have more survival skill. They should have incorporated something like that.
Oh no, because the banker just gets people to do it for him. Pays them.
Fair enough.
Survival of the richest.
It sounds
Yeah.
a bit like Zumbinis for American schools.
I will be right back.
Can't get the staff these days.
Oh, quiet. Yeah, be right back.
If Far Cry 3 is too short, then I've found the opposite problem. I've just been playing Assassin's Creed 3, and it's taken me 5.5 hours of gameplay to actually play as Connor, the protagonist. It's kind of... It was the longest introduction to a game I've ever played, and it was dull. I've played something like 4 tutorials at this stage, and I'm bored. So I've stopped playing again.
The Assassin's Creed games, they kind of do that thing, don't they, where they blend the tutorial with the actual gameplay. But because there's so many like different types of missions and things, it ends up being as you said, hours worth of tutorial that's just boring.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing. It is all tutorial, all filler so far. I've finally met Connor, but he's a kid. I just played hide and seek, which was a sickening level, and just the most boring gameplay I could ever envision. So that's happened.
Well, I thought the best way to keep your interest was to introduce children into video games.
Children I can kill, perhaps, but not ones I have to play as and then just hide and seek with their friends. Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. If I wanted to play hide and seek, I don't know. I'd have a nephew or something.
Have you got a sister or a brother to have a nephew with, or are you just gonna grab a nephew? Is that the?
just find one.
Just speak to your
I think
parents.
orphans are going cheap these days. So.
Just speak to your parents. Hey, I need a sister, and then I need a spouse for her in about 20 years.
I have a crushing desire to play hide and seek.
But with a nephew.
The nephew specifically.
Can you adopt somebody to specifically be their uncle? Can you do that?
Actually, you can, in a way.
My sister's 18. I can persuade her into adoption.
Yeah, that'll work.
And I'll do.
In the United States, we have big brothers, big sisters, where you can actually, it's not adopting, but you enter the program and then they assign you a little, just a kid that you can spend time with.
Is that like in the film Role Models? Is it that?
I'm not familiar with that.
That is,
okay.
Yeah, I imagine so, but that film is amazing. I enjoy that film slightly too much.
It was a funny
The
film.
quality that it is. Oh well. What did Binsy go to do?
I don't know.
Abandoned us all.
He has. He's just kind of buggered off.
Hello.
In a minute, I imagine he's just going to turn up and do the Joker voice or something. Pretend he's transformed. I don't know. Whatever he does in his spare time. But or is he specifically gone so that he can listen back to the conversation and hear something that he didn't hear when he did the podcast?
I have no idea, but I just managed to turn down my volume just without even realizing it. My microphone has this exceptionally sensitive volume control, so if I shift suddenly, I can turn my volume right down and just shut off all conversation. So,
That's
yeah,
probably
I
not
did
what
that.
you want to do.
It's not ideal. I should really secure this in a better manner so that the volume control isn't even close to, I don't know, a ripple in my jumper.
So Jesse, what's famous in Wyoming? If I was to go to Wyoming, why would I go?
Well, the majority of people, especially from out of the country that come to visit, they go to Yellowstone National Park.
Right, well, I'm back.
Yeah.
But I would always recommend the Grand Tetons just next to it. Far better, less people. But yeah, Wyoming's mostly known for beef and Yellowstone.
Well, I do like beef.
I mean, the size of our state is probably bigger than most a good number of European countries, but we only have 500,000 people.
Sounds like quite a nice place. I like low population density.
Yeah, I mean, we don't.
Yeah, that's.
The joke is we don't measure the distance between towns by miles. We measure by the hour. And it's true because
Fair enough.
most of my friends and I don't know the miles between the towns here, but we do know the hours. The nearest town is about half an hour. The capital is about an hour. And that's 75 miles an hour on the interstate to get there.
So
Okay.
75 miles to the capital, is that?
No, 75 miles an hour, and it takes you an hour to get to the capital.
So, yeah,
I'm
75
going to
miles to
redo
the
that maths. It's 75 miles, right?
But you don't always go 75, because you do have to go over a pass. If you have a car like mine, you have to go like 50 over the pass, just because it taxes my Subaru so bad.
Oh, there's a pass.
You're in Wyoming and you don't have like a pickup truck or a 4x4.
No.
Come on.
Need a tractor. That's what gets the bitches around there.
We don't really have farms.
Well, just in the village that I grew up, you know, you just get like about a third of people in my age like, oh, I'm 16, I'm going to get my tractor's license. Oh, yes. And it's like, oh, okay.
I say my town was like that as well down in Wiltshire. It was
He said
it was
Wiltshire.
definitely. Sorry.
You just said
Oh,
down
yeah.
south before.
Yeah, well,
Coaxed
yeah.
out of you.
I don't even live there anymore, but that's where I was from originally.
Yeah.
I did say down south before because basically, if I'd said Wiltshire, Jesse, do you know where Wiltshire is?
I've actually heard of it, but I don't know its location.
There, yeah. So it's, basically, if I had said Wiltshire, you probably, you wouldn't known where it was. So
See,
that's
what I
why
was
said
doing,
south.
Jesse, was I was buying you time just to Google Wiltshire on Google Maps, and you'd be like, oh yeah, well, it's just here.
What's funny is
Well, we've got Stonehenge.
Oh, go
that's
ahead.
our. Yeah, never mind.
Watson, go.
No, I was saying that our claim to fame is Stonehenge, and that's pretty much all we've got in the. Wiltshire.
now I know where it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and the motorway that runs next to Stonehenge, which is beautiful.
The motorway. Well, the A403.
Yeah, the A403 is a beautiful road.
A king among roads.
Exactly.
I was actually born in a city called Redding, up in Northern California,
Mm.
which I
That's
guess
just a copy of our road.
yes, exactly. I was with a group of British tourists, and I guess they had thought I was just among the group, and we were talking. I mentioned I was born in Redding, and I was gonna finish the sentence by saying up in California, but they cut me off, and they're like, "Oh, do you know this person up there?"
You should have just gone, yes.
I just like that they think that everyone in Reading knows each other. Reading is quite a big town
It
in
is.
itself.
To be fair, my mother was out in Uganda, and she went out to this village, and she was like, "Oh, I'm from England." One of the kids immediately asked her, "Do you know Wayne Rooney?"
It's have you had tea with the Queen? That's the
Mind you,
stereotype.
on the Rooney thing, if I'd been asked that question, my response would have been like, "No, and I'm glad not to." I appreciate.
No,
that
but
for
my
everyone.
grandmother does.
Mind you, if someone had gone, "Oh, do you know Patrick Stewart?" and she'd have been like, "Oh yes."
Showing off again, are we,
I love
Binsy?
Patrick Stewart's amazing.
He is pretty amazing. Have you met him?
He lives on the moor that my family looks after.
Oh, okay. Hang on, you look after a moor?
Well, like my
Sure-
family,
sure-
they're like the head gamekeepers for it.
Oh,
into bed
I
at
see.
night and
You
stuff.
know, I'm about to say, it's like, no, we have hills, we don't bother looking after them. It's like, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that gets done on the moors around here.
Like
Not your
murders.
shitey southern hills.
Where there's less murders.
Well, thing is, we have just alone 3,000 acres of moor. You don't understand how handy that is for disposing of bodies.
Bear it in mind.
Well, you know, there's the whole mobster thing of someone that offends the family. So what you do is you abduct them, take away their clothes, and just leave them stranded in the middle of the moor in the middle of the night.
You could do the same up in Wyoming. We're still finding World War II aircraft wreckage from air bases up here, up in the mountains. Drive up there, dump a body. They'll find it in about 30 years.
That's an aircraft from World War II. I think they just crashed rather than.
Yes, but not recently, Watson.
No, about to say, like, how much fighting was going on in Wyoming in World War II?
Well, we have several air bases, and they would be training out here.
Oh, so they'd be like test wreckages.
And because we have really bad winters,
And
I think
really bad pilots. Sorry, carry on.
it's the last time we send anyone over to help you.
It would just be like that thing in The Simpsons. We saved your house in World War 1 and 2. Yeah, well, we saved your house in World War 3. Fair enough. Mind you, this discussion of hiding bodies on moors has made me uncover a memory from last week. I mean, not last
When
week.
you buried a body in the wall.
No, when I was about... Oh, I must have been about 8, in my class trip, like this class I was in, took a trip to a moor in Lancashire, I think it was. And basically...
You started young with your murders. Jesus.
Just
8.
Well, yes, but that's not the point. Anyway, the point is that my teacher didn't make a big deal out of what happened at the time, but we were out on this moor, and we went to this like big outcropping of rock, and there was a skeleton in like fallen between the rocks.
Wow. The worst I came across on D&V was just a sheep skeleton, and that was,
Like, just human skeleton here, and I was like, "Oh, can I take the skull?" No, you can't take the skull.
Did it turn out to be anybody famous, or?
I don't know actually, because I'm not really sure what happened about it. The bones still looked fairly white and not decayed, but they were just bones, so I don't know how recent it was.
I just read on Facebook my cousin has just done something called the Secret Cinema. I don't know if anyone's heard of this.
Sounds really creepy.
What, you don't know what you're going to watch till you get there? And then afterwards you don't know what you did watch because it was all a secret.
Apparently they watched Shawshank Redemption, and her description of it was spent the day locked up in prison and being bullied by the warden, who now has exceptionally clean shoes. So I'm
is it like
currently
you
googling
get
this.
you on a random film and you have to describe it as though it happened to you?
Well, it appears to be a form of cinema where you actually you take part. Like the description of it is like you're instructed to turn up in certain clothes, then you're sentenced, frog marched onto a bus, delivered to an anonymous destination.
So it's like
and you don't know what the film's going to be until you turn
So
up.
it's basically like an entertainment version of the Zimbardo experiment.
Basically, you get issued with uniforms, led through communal showers populated with naked fighting bathers. And
Do you
get
get
locked
raped?
into cells. Yeah, I can only presume that you then get gay raped. And you do taxes. Like, what is this?
I don't know. I did love the Family Guy adaptation of the Stephen King things. One of them was Shawshank Redemption. And then everyone, Joe gets his legs broken, and he's the shower rapist, so the warden breaks his legs as a favour to Andy Dufresne.
This just sounds weird. I
No,
don't want
but
to do a secret cinema ever, though. That's unsettled me. My cousin, what are you doing? Why would you sign up for this?
After the movie
I did
did
a secret cinema once. It was a secret cinema of the Clockwork Orange. We all got aversion therapied.
To never going to another secret cinema.
Yeah.
Afterwards, did she have to run from the theater while being chased after by a pack of greyhounds? Or bloodhounds.
sewer.
Bloodhounds, sorry.
I can only presume.
No, and the key to her car had been buried under a box under an old oak tree.
They drop her off in Mexico.
I think the toughest bit was when one of her best friends committed suicide. Immediately after they left.
That's the thing. What do you think would be, aside from Shawshank Redemption, which do you think would be the worst film to have to do secret cinema of?
Starship
Human
Troopers.
Centipede.
Oh man!
Oh no! I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
There's only one answer. Some movies that you would never ever like to be even in any way involved with, close to.
See.
See, yeah, exactly.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's a weird concept. It's all very high art. But I guess people enjoy that.
You say high art, it'll just be someone that spent a lot of time on 4chan back in the day.
Yeah,
know what would be cool?
High art
A
within
bunch of
heavy
peop-
quotation marks.
High art in the same way that period art is art.
Oh no, not again.
Again.
It's like once a podcast, period art comes up.
Yeah.
She's not around anymore. Leave it.
when that thread
What, we
was
had her on the podcast? Damn it, I missed this.
no. In the thread. But when that thread was still going, someone posted a picture of this thing that someone had done. And basically what it was a wall that was made up of plaster casts of women's vaginas.
Oh no.
And it was like, okay, I can see why that might be a little bit artistic, until you find out that the majority of those people are women that he slept with, and then it takes on a bit of a creepy trophy case feel.
Did you do it while they were asleep?
No, I think it was voluntary. I suppose that like back in the day that was the equivalent of putting your body out on the internet.
I'm sure it was a very attractive artist that made this giant wall of vaginas.
Well, yeah, it was me.
Jack's claim to fame.
Okay. Right, on the subject of films, have you ever had it where you see a film and there's like an actor that you know for a fact he's a good actor, but clearly he's just decided that the film is going to be utter shit, and so he just phones it in for a laugh?
Yes.
What's the best like example of that you can come up with?
Tom Jane in I've got to remember the name of the film now. I bought it, I watched it, and it was just ridiculous. I think it's on my wall in front of me. Hang on, I'm having a look.
Having a look.
Having a shifty.
Having a gander at that.
No, it's not there. It was some sort of kind of. He had to go kill a big dragon, and it was just, it was dog shit, absolute dog shit.
Wonderful.
And it made me sad because it came after The Punisher, and it was just a bit sad.
For me, I can't remember the name of it, but it was basically this film where all the plant life in Earth started excreting a toxin that drove people insane. And basically Mark Wahlberg is the main character.
Ah, the Happening.
Yeah, and so don't ruin it if you know what I'm gonna get at. But he's a good actor, but he just phoned it in for this film because it was just like they were staying in this hotel and there's a crazy old lady, not like plant crazy but regular crazy, who reckons that he's plotting to murder them. And I first saw this scene out of context, not knowing what the film was. And from the way he acted, I assumed that he was like a psychopath, and that he was going to murder them, and that he was just denying it. Because it's like, you're gonna murder us and then eat us, and he's like, what? No! No, we're not! That's not even me being a bad actor, that's actually how he did it.
I seem to think I do think I remember that. It was the most confusing part of the film. I know they didn't really want you to know what was going to happen to the end, but throwing you off like that was just cruel.
All the apocalypse movies seem to be with everyone dying.
That's
to the point where I watched
theme of the apocalypse.
Well, the thing is that find all the central characters die at the end. Is that better? It's the point where you watch Zombieland and the ending is quite uplifting.
Oh, Zombieland is just a great movie.
Oh, Zombieland is amazing.
It's a brilliant
every way.
movie.
The most uplifting part of it for me was actually about a couple of hours later. I was just reminiscing about the film, and I remembered that they've only crossed like a couple of states, which means that there are about 48 states worth that may have plenty of Twinkies in them.
After trying Twinkies. Oh,
go.
I was saying after. To be honest, they're not that good. They're not that good.
I enjoyed them. I've got to say.
Will blow your
But
brains
then
out.
I'm large.
America's greatest export.
Yeah, but it's been destroyed now, hasn't it? They've gone under.
I think someone was looking to buy them. I just don't know if they did or not.
I would just buy them, then just to dick people over, pull a Coke Classic on them. new Twinkies. Like I wouldn't even give out like classic Twinkies. I'd just be like, here's a new Twinkie recipe, and people would eat it and then throw up.
But didn't their rival company like come out with something that's essentially a Twinkie?
There
around
there
the
are so many knockoffs here.
They're already clones.
of
but,
all
like,
of the
it's a big rival or something, like a non-hostess brand, but
Well,
not a big
Little
one.
Debbie.
Yeah, Little Debbie. There you go. But they come out with one that's essentially just a Twinkie, but like they made it even more obvious.
You know, like the really like classic magazine ad art style, and it's like nuclear family, and everyone looks kind of shiny.
Yeah.
The Norman
I once saw
Rockwell.
a thing of that, and it was an advertisement for muffins, and the mascot woman for it was called Fanny, which this is gonna be something that Jesse doesn't get. I'm just gonna point out that Fanny is a euphemism for vagina instead of arsehole in England.
Huh.
Anyway, the point is that the tagline was Fanny's muffins are sticky and moist.
Oh,
I did see something. Basically, there's a product over in America for skiing with, and essentially it's this piece of Gore-Tex that kind of hangs down from the back of your jacket. So when you sit down, you don't get a wet arse, and they're called fanny flaps. Which I thought was brilliant.
Thing. And
Well-
you know those like Prince's American hot dogs that you can get?
Mm.
They're like skinless. And I saw an advert for something like that, and this was in a cracked article, so obviously it was very exemplary. And it was something skinless wieners, and it was just like the phrases that they were putting it into. They must have known what they were doing.
Oh yeah.
one of the leading ballet leotard makers in the world is called Eurotard.
Speaking of cracked, I read a cracked article about Superman, and you know that he's essentially, at this point, a thing for Republic America, basically.
Okay.
Go
But
on.
originally, he was made by these two really like subversive people, and basically he'd go around like his solution, like he would have perceived him as being very left wing, but his ways of saving people were really weird, like these people were being shafted on like government housing and being charged loads. Instead of like going in and shaking at the people in charge, he then goes and destroys these entire neighborhoods of cheap houses, leaving like hundreds of people homeless. He's like, oh yes, they'll rebuild these homes and there won't be fire hazards anymore. Okay.
Your home's a fire hazard. Let me destroy it for
And
you.
there was the thing where he, for whatever reason, he had to catch someone by impersonating a football player, like an American football player that he looked exactly like. So his way of doing this was abducting the football player, and like tying him to a bed and just leaving him and going and impersonating him, and then using his powers to basically kill the other team.
I just like the bit where Superman tied an American football player to the bed.
I wonder if there's a Rule 34 for that.
Undoubtedly. I bet it would be very easy to find.
Probably. It's probably even a
Yeah.
famous football player.
I'm sure it's still, doable. Definitely.
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 If anyone else wants to jump in here, they can.
Definitely.
Something. Jesse, you've been
Yep.
quiet for a while.
All right. One thing I was just reading a little earlier was have any of you read up on the game stick?
No.
What about
Tell us more.
what about the I don't know how you pronounce it. Ouya? Ouya?
Oh yeah.
The
Ouya?
the Ouya,
The
yeah.
Android thing.
The Android gaming console.
Yeah.
There's another one called the Game Stick. The Escapist has ran I think 2 articles on it now for its own Kickstarter, and basically Android games played on your television.
Oh.
I didn't know if that's something you'd be
I
interested
can't
in.
think
or...
of anything that's more of a trash novelty than that.
But in only the first I think in only like the first 30 hours, GameStick raised over $100,000. and right now they're at 350,000. So they obviously have some backers.
Crikey.
It's not bad, but then you look at Ouya and you're like,
Yeah.
30 million or whatever.
You know, sometime about this time last year, I pitched in a Kickstarter on this live-action series, and because of the amount I kicked in, basically I get these commemorative dog tags, and then I got an email about a couple of days later, shipping time, January 2013. You bastard.
Well, that's like now.
Yes, I'll be expecting them any day now.
I was gonna say.
The long year.
Oh, that would have been a great story a while back.
Would have been.
But now that's like, that's.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm half expecting it to be like lost in the post.
Sorry, should have asked for registered delivery.
Yeah.
I had that. I take a gamble every time I order my T-shirts and don't sort of pay the extra £2 for registered delivery. One of them's been lost in the mail, so.
Oh, yeah.
But overall, I still save money on the amount of T-shirts that I didn't spend £2 on getting protected delivery or whatever.
Fair enough. Anyway, I've been looking at some new hats lately.
Team Fortress, me too.
No. Oh, speaking of Team Fortress, though, my friend who I managed to get into Firefly, basically, he got the Tuft Hog or whatever it is, which is basically like a knit cap, flaps on the sides.
Oh yeah, the Tough Toke, yeah.
Yeah, the Tuft Toke or whatever. And yeah, basically he spray painted it orange and paid to rename it and re-describe it, and so he called it Jane's Toe.
Oh yeah, it is so much a Jane hat.
It's brilliant.
Tough Guy's Toke.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
haven't got one yet, but I don't play heavy much, so.
Fair enough.
But in Team Fortress news, they did in fact retire hats. They've started to retire old hats.
Ah,
Yeah,
that sucks.
it's kind of interesting. So they'll still be like everything that's already out there can still be traded, but
Yeah.
you can't get any new ones of it.
You can't like get them in random encounters. Can you buy them from the shops?
No, they're taking out the store as well.
Oh god.
So it's trading only.
So they're now limited edition hats, and they're going to be like worth loads.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because they were cheap hats to start off with, so there's still tons of them on the market. So it won't do much for a while, but it's an interesting thing they're starting to do.
Oh yeah, sure.
They've only done it to cheap hats so far, but they can do it to an expensive hat, and that would really drive up the price on it.
Speaking of buying things on games, did you hear? You know, like how many throwaway MMOs there are?
Yes.
And there was one that was basically based in like Chinese law, and you know, it was just still coming out of its beta, so you know, you had no idea whether it was going to take off successfully or not. And this guy spent about $15,000 to get a really powerful in-game sword for his character.
Ouch.
I heard about that, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was on the Escapist,
Yeah.
I think.
Although when you said that it was a game based on Chinese law, my head didn't go to law with L-O-R-E.
Jesse knows where I'm coming from.
I heard LAW.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
that's because we pronounce them the same.
So I was there with that.
See,
Yeah,
so the
dude,
very
some Chinese
interesting
law
sort
for
of-
you.
You do anything wrong in the game, and your account gets sort of shut down,
If
and
we want to,
all your friends killed.
and doing something wrong involves thinking about a different type of government, or seeing...
a different game.
Yeah.
Alright, settle down. if you want to speak about Oriental law, though, you know, in Japan there's a 95% conviction rate.
That's interesting.
Brutally high.
Well, I hear Phoenix Wright's pretty good. So.
Yeah, that was where I read it. It was an article about the Phoenix Wright games.
Damn, that's high though.
Yeah.
Do they have the whole jury system?
I'm not
Bad.
sure. I think they do, because obviously it's what the Phoenix Wright games are based off. But yeah, I guess it's just because it's like the culture.
Yeah.
Anyway, my obviously this isn't China, but my friends, or rather my friend and his little brother, quite some years ago, they went to live in Hong Kong. And apparently my friend's little brother, him and his friend, who's fairly rich, bought tickets to a Justin Bieber concert and then just went, not because they enjoyed it, but just to aggravate all the girls in their class that like Justin Bieber.
He does a great concert.
Really?
Then you would know.
I have been to a Justin Bieber concert.
And
Okay.
you've just
Um,
admitted this?
No, I have. I watched him break his ankle live on stage. It
Oh well,
was
fair enough. That must have been fun to watch.
fantastic. It's yeah, it's I really couldn't recommend it enough.
But
Mind you, I don't think we could mention him now without mentioning Cut for Bieber.
What is that? I've seen it a
think-
lot. Tell me more.
I swear, I think it may have started out as an actual thing, like, oh, Justin Bieber's smoking weed, so we better cut ourselves to make him stop.
wow.
And so people have just taken it to its logical troll extreme. And it's basically like, you'll get someone cutting up a pizza, or slicing into paper, or someone's put ketchup on their arm. And the first shot is them with ketchup on their arm as though it's blood, and then the next one is them making it into a sandwich.
Flawless plan.
Oh yeah.
It's bizarre.
Well, it's the best way to troll a stupid movement, isn't it?
The original movement itself sounds dumb as hell.
I'm not sure if it was actually a thing. I don't know. It might have just been an extension of, like, Justin Bieber has cancer, shave your heads.
Oh, that was an interesting one. Yeah,
Wonder how many people actually did it.
2,000,
1,000.
something like that.
Hopefully.
His fans can't be that rabid. I mean, there's what he's
People
competing
have been
with One
crushed
Direction
to
now,
death at his
really,
concerts.
isn't he? I don't know. Didn't 1D kind of take over that whole scene?
I don't know.
I'm not down with the kids these days. I should go play some more hide and seek and find out their ways.
That sounded really creepy. You're gonna stand at the local schoolyard and play hide and seek with the kids.
It's cool. My
I'm-
nephew will...
I'm hiding something somewhere. I'm hiding candy somewhere in my body, trying to seek it out.
Yeah, I have no clue. I haven't listened to any of that.
Yeah.
I remember
It's probably for the best.
a few years ago, I was walking through the engineering building of our college, and I was playing Pearl Jam. It just came up as a random song, and a girl walked by, and she's like, "Oh, is that new band that came out?"
And you're like, no.
Whoa.
I just looked there. I'm like, no, they've been here since the early '90s. It's like I'm not that old.
Was she then like, One Direction would have been kids then? What?
What? They wouldn't have been born. They wouldn't have been born in the early 90s.
Oh, that's brilliant. Mind you, that's what music are you all into? I mean, I know that Watson's basically into everything.
Absolutely everything.
Yeah, I'll join Watson in that camp, really. Everything.
Jesse?
I have I listen mostly to classic rock and southern rock. It's not that I
And you listen
don't.
to that stuff where you cook meth.
What?
I was making a Breaking Bad joke.
Oh, okay. No, I listen to other music. I can listen to country. I can listen to other types. I just, if I can,
Yeah.
I would prefer, just classic rock.
On a tangent, since Breaking Bad started, how many people have made jokes to you because you're called Jesse?
The what now?
You know Breaking Bad?
None.
I haven't.
I'm going with
I haven't
none.
actually watched it, so I don't know.
Oh, god damn. Anyway, to
I
get,
haven't watched the show either. It's
I'll just say
It is
this.
a good
it's
show.
great.
I'll say this right now. I haven't had cable in years.
well, I don't really watch it on TV, I just watch it on the internet.
Oh well. Yeah,
I'm a good person.
I haven't seen it.
What's cable? What's a TV? I'm a student. I still get like things from like the TV license company. Like we think you've got a TV. Like we want to check that you don't have a TV. It's like we don't have a TV. Like we just have computers. They're better than TVs now.
Well,
Yeah.
I decided to save money and I watch on Netflix.
Yeah,
Direct
that's-
streaming.
You should
That
check
doesn't-
out Breaking Bad. It is a fairly decent show.
Netflix doesn't sound like a way to save money. That sounds like a way to spend money on watching TV.
$7 versus in the US, you're probably paying like 50, 60, 70 bucks a month
For a TV license?
for cable. Cable.
Oh, alright. I was just gonna say. To get back on track here, the music. So
Yes.
we've got rock / southern rock and then 2 everythings.
Yeah,
I'll-
I really do mean everything.
As for me, it's like primarily rock. And my favourite band is Red Hot Chili Peppers, but then I've been getting into some other things as well. I mean, obviously because I'm on the Escapist, I like Miracle of Sound.
Yes.
Boom.
There's a band called Fool's Gold that I like who sing in Hebrew.
Okay.
Yeah. And then someone on the in the Borough Avengers, I think it was Shrek fan, got me into this band called Helios, and they do ambiance music.
Oh yeah, that sounds like it'd be Shrek.
Yeah, they are, but it's pretty good.
Yeah,
And then
having reviewed that, I think that was on his top 10 that he gave me to review. I still did that. Not done that in a while.
You haven't done mine, have you?
I haven't. No, I don't think I've got around to yours. I think I've got yours and Hazy's sitting there that I could do at any time. I feel like it.
Come on,
And
Michael.
I'm just like, I'll do it at some point.
To be fair,
eventually.
I've been holding off a Metal Gear Solid review for what must be about nearly a month now.
Yeah, it happens.
It does.
Martyr's dedication to reviewing is like unbeaten by any of us.
Well,
That guy is
it's
a
not that I'm
machine.
undedicated, it's that I'm doing exams at the moment.
It's lack of dedication. You've no focus, boy.
I just want to say to any prospective journalists listening to this, if I have a reason to do something, I will do it, and I'm very good at this. I've been putting out this podcast every week, except for the last couple of weeks, in which case I've been horribly ill.
Yes.
I am-
Hire him now.
I am a good
He's
employee.
wonderful. Can't you hear? if this is your resume, I'm worried for you.
Oh.
Well, this is a good podcast, as things go.
I've listened to worse.
And
The
that's the best
Failcast.
endorsement we've got so far.
Yeah, that should be our tagline. for this
I listened
episode.
to worse. Well, I should at least make that the subtitle for this episode. I've listened to worse.
100%.
I've listened to better as
Um,
well, but
Oh yeah.
No, we won't include that.
this will be
that's-
my third favorite podcast. We'll just say that.
How many do you listen to?
I listened to Escapist. I used to listen to SGUK before they went off air,
Okay.
Nope, never
Us.
heard of it.
So there's 3 in all.
and then I also listened to Wait, but
So we're currently below one that's cancelled.
yes,
And you're in it, so so that's brilliant.
Good job, guys.
I think I'm doing pretty
Let's
well.
wrap up here. Our work's done.
Third
You can all go to
best.
bed feeling quite confident of yourselves now.
We're
I
third
do.
best.
Oh yes.
Wh-
Well, to be fair, at least I've written a small book, so there also is that to add onto my resume.
Indeed, yes. I'd hire you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for McDonald's.
Oh, thanks. Is that where you work?
No, I don't even have a job.
Yes, I take it.
As if someone would hire me.
I'm actually probably going to end up doing, in the summer, some bar work for a bowling alley, because it has a sports bar as part of it. So
That's cool. That's cool.
yeah, it should be good. It'll be a good place to learn it as well, because all the times I've been past that place, or like the sports bar area when I'm on my way to play pool or bowl, the sports bar has not really been very crowded, so, you know, good place to start out, I guess.
Are you going to take
Now
up
are you-
bowling big time while you're there?
I do bowl occasionally, but obviously it's a lot more, because obviously I used to go there primarily just to bowl, and then I found out that they have a pool table that runs on 50p's. So obviously
What?
that's much cheaper.
That's so expensive. 50p a go for pool.
Yeah, but compared to $8.25 a person for an alley.
Yeah, but
Yes,
damn, isn't there a pool hall near you or something?
Well, it's kind of the pool hall. It's like a big room full of tables.
Jeez.
To be fair, that's the cheapest one. It's the English pool table, which is 50p, and then the rest are like £3 a game.
that's expensive,
It
Yeah,
is.
this is spectacularly expensive.
I guess.
It is.
I've got to get into this business. 50p's for pool. Sweet.
How many games would you need to have played on it to get your money back?
What do you mean?
What? When you shark your friends?
No, 50p a game for playing pool. How many is that? How
Well,
many
thing
games
is,
is that per?
I'm decidedly the second best pool player in our group, which means that I can't really shark it because there's obviously the one person that's better than me.
Well, you can, make him ill.
Well, as I said to Watson, I'm the best cards player of the group, so there is that.
There are only 2 of them in the group, by the way.
You're a nice person.
He just plays with himself in a mirror. You are the best.
That sounds really grim. Oh,
Oh dear.
It's even better when I look at Jack's picture of a dog. And
It's a dog and a puff.
he looks so lonely.
A dog and a
What?
puff.
That does look like a puff.
There is a
behind
puff
it.
behind it.
Oh yeah. Mind you, I remember when I was doing the modcast and when they mentioned my pictures, I think Sky14 come here, whose name is Heather, by the way.
Oh, don't call her that.
Whoa.
She doesn't
not
like
like
it,
it?
not even to her face. It's your first guy.
Okay.
She prefer. Okay, fair enough. Okay, Heather. Anyway, the first thing that she said was, "What's wrong with his ear?" And I kind of forgot to. I kind of like didn't quite hear that until I was listening to it back. And obviously, to those of you who can't see, it's just that his ears flicked back. There's nothing wrong with my dog.
Now
Colby 2012.
on the same topic, how did you confuse my dog with a lamb?
It just like because it's got a black head and obviously the picture's quite small. It's got a white body.
Okay.
And you live in Wyoming.
Yeah,
you know.
that's what I thought he was going for. Are you holding
I
a
wasn't just being
sheep?
a dick. it was genuine confusion on my part.
Is it Wyoming's national law to adopt lambs per
I've
household?
known people that have kept things like kept lambs and shit as pets before. There was a group around here that kept wallabies as pets.
Oh,
What?
You know,
Okay.
wallabies, the tiny kangaroo-like marsupials.
Yeah.
I've heard of that,
I was
actually.
just. You don't live in Australia. What?
I don't know. They imported them for some reason. It's legal.
what it?
Okay.
There's one manor in London that has them because they use them to control the grass. It's like natural lawnmowers.
I thought that was goats. I thought goats were that.
But
Only
I
they're
guess-
quite grumpy, aren't they?
Yeah.
Of course, when they had when they first got these wallabies, they didn't right away think to build higher fencing. That was quite hilarious.
I think
Why
in
don't
the
you
United
go-
States, I think skunks are becoming a popular pet now.
Oh, why?
They
Did he at least have like
Yeah,
the
the-
thing taken out?
they'll fix the glands, and then basically you just have a really furry cat.
Oh.
Fair enough.
Oh, that is just pointless.
Well, I've noticed that.
If you're allergic to cats, maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, you hear some of the stuff that goes on in my village, and you think it'd be something out of a less believable TV show. Like, for instance, we had this parade that went through the village, and in it was like a contingent of dwarves that may or may not have been going to kill a dragon. But anyway, the point was that sometime after this guy that we know, fairly young guy, he had this old man that he knew lived around locally come up to him, who we knew was like kind of senile, who was like, "Oh, I've got this goblin trapped underneath the cupboard under my stairs," and he was like, "Oh, okay," just kind of like went along with it, and then he kept coming back. "Oh yeah, I've got this goblin. He's getting really rowdy." Okay, comes back the
It's
third day.
euphemism, is it?
This goblin's getting out of control. I'm gonna need some help with it. And he's like, right. And so he goes along just to see kind of what's up. Goes in. He's like, right. Sorry.
I'm in suspense.
Sorry.
This is beautiful.
yeah. Yes. Anyway, so he goes along with him. And he's like, okay. He says to him, I'll stand by the door. When I open the door, the goblin is gonna run out because he's getting really uppity. And when he runs out, you have to grab him. He's like, okay. So he opens the door, and there's just this half-starved, dehydrated festival dwarf just laying out
Oh.
in the cupboard.
Oh.
That was
That
dark.
was dark.
He survived. He survived, and I think the guy got sectioned, but yeah.
I'm not surprised he kidnapped a person.
And called it a
Called him a
goblin.
goblin.
Yeah. Oh.
Can only imagine though that that they'd be like having a couple of drinks after this festival. Then one of them goes off around the corner, like I don't know, have like a smoke or something. Gets just nicked by this old man.
You shouldn't find this as funny as you do. Poor guy.
Now I want one.
Well, to be fair, that much of a posh English person, that keeping people trapped underneath your house doesn't seem like that much of a leap.
I do need a house first, actually. There are people trapped under my room. They're in other rooms downstairs.
I have that.
To be fair, I'm going to admit that of all of us here, I'm probably the most likely to hunt someone for sport.
Because you're on the moors?
Good.
Because I'm
Because
what?
you're on the moors? Is that...
Well, that'd be the place to do it. But do any of you read XKCD?
Yes.
Yes.
Have you seen the one where they're talking about attraction, or human attraction to spectacle?
Say it again, sorry.
It's one where they're talking. The black hat guy and a girl are talking about human attraction to spectacle.
I Possibly long. I don't know. I can't remember.
Like she's
happens?
watching the news about like a high risk weather warning and like a storm and like the casualties that it's done. And she's like, oh, I shouldn't be watching this. I don't know why I'm watching this. And he goes, well, you're watching it for the same reason that you'd watch a spaceship taking off, just in case something happened and it all crashed and you wouldn't want to miss it, I guess. And it just carries on. Or you know how he might sometimes steal a med student's clothes and sneak into surgery to watch them harvest the organs. Wait, what?
No.
And then he goes, or you know, sometimes how you'll interfere with road signs to turn people down a dirt path strewn with caltrops that burst their tires, and then you shoot out their windows, and when they run, you hunt them on horseback like men once did.
Oh, okay. Actually,
I identify.
yes, I think I do
I
remember
identify
that.
strongly with the black guy. Yeah, I identify strongly with the black hat guy. I even have a black hat.
Okay.
Okay.
What
as long
type
as
of
that's
black
the only
hats?
way you identify with them.
What?
As long as that's the only way you identify with them.
What, my psychopathy or the fact that I have a black hat?
Moving on.
So yeah, given to back hastily up to games, given Watson's discussion about Far Cry being quite short, I think I might hold off getting it and get XCOM instead, just because I'm trying to go for sort of the most replay value.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea.
Just because obviously I haven't bought a game in several months. This is the first game I'm really aiming to get, and you know, I want to get as much out of it as possible.
Right, I have a offer to go and play some Team Fortress, so I am going to abandon you all now.
Traitor.
It's been a pleasure, and I will see you all later. Adios. Goodbye, listeners.
Bye bye, Bobmus.
Alright.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Wow, that's one less Bobmus.
What a dick. Anyway, I started playing Red Dead Redemption again recently.
Oh yeah, is it good? I haven't played it.
Oh, Red Dead Redemption is a good game, mainly because I've mainly been playing it because I had an idea for sort of a series of Western novels, and it's going to put me in the mood to play Red Dead Redemption.
Okay.
It is a good game. Have you ever played it, Jesse?
I haven't played it. I've watched a friend play it.
Well, I suppose you'd live it. I bet you get chance to pistols at dawn all the time, don't you?
Actually, last weekend I was out shooting.
Oh yeah, what'd you get?
No, I wasn't hunting. We were just shooting.
Oh, like targets and stuff.
Yeah, so I got to fire a .22 rifle and a couple of handguns and I don't know what we call it, but it's styled after like a French assault rifle.
Okay.
So that was odd.
I actually went on my first shoot in quite a while yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a bird shoot on the moors, and I got 2 ducks and 2 partridges.
A pear tree?
Oh yeah. I killed the Christmas bird.
Aww.
Yeah. I think I told Shrek about that, and he immediately posts the picture of the grumpy cat going. What was it? Look, it's starting to look a lot like fuck this.
What's with that grumpy cat? It just kind of appeared out of nowhere. Like
The
recently.
thing is, it's the same cat. The guy who owns that cat must be like.
Yeah.
loving it.
Surely there's other cats of the same breed that look very similar.
Well, apparently, I was talking to I think Fizz about it, and apparently the person who owns that cat lives. At least she knows in her state.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we should ask her about that again.
I was surprised last night when I was talking to Fizz. I mentioned I'm from Wyoming, and she got real excited. I guess she was just born in Cheyenne, which is the capital, not too far from here.
All right.
Oh, fair enough.
And because there are all about a dozen people in Wyoming, she might know you.
Yeah. I've been asked by a lot of people, hey, do you know this person up in Jackson Hole or this person in Powell? And sometimes I
How many times have you
sometimes I actually do.
That is slightly worrying.
I mean, there just
I would be,
isn't enough of us, and there's no real incentive to move to Wyoming. We don't have people. It's cold the majority of the year.
see, I could make an incest joke here, but I'm going to be above that, and just mention it in passing.
Well, we are an immigrant state. Most people actually move here from other states. So I was born in California, and I moved here, and that's how the state maintains its health. Because most of the students, when they graduate, they take off. They get out of the state.
Oh yeah, I'm going to leave Grassington and Yorkshire because the Dales if you look up the Yorkshire Dales, that's where I am. And it's not quite that bad, but it's the point where you can't really make your first impression on anyone because they already know basically who you are by proxy.
Our
Everyone's
state gives out a scholarship, and if you're a good student, it pays for all of your college. up to a bachelor degree. So that's how desperate we are to keep the students in the state of Wyoming from going to Colorado or Utah.
Fair enough. Well, we're coming up on an hour now. We can either talk for a little bit longer or wrap up. What do you think?
What's the time? I've got some ironing to do.
10:15.
Oh, not too bad.
Oh yeah, 'cause we started at 9, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
Well, not 9, like a bit past 9. Yeah, a lot of the time we tend to do this at like midnight.
I still gotta think about what to eat for dinner.
Oh yeah, 'cause it's fucking 3 o'clock where you are.
Yep.
Wow. Hang on, you're having dinner now?
No, I'm thinking about it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I would have been somewhat better conversation today, but I'm still slightly ill because it seems like it's January exam season, but weirdly, around sort of everyone I know, like you know, my parents and everyone, really, there's like a multitude of things going around. It's really weird. There's like everything you can imagine going around, and obviously I'm likely to be exposed to all of that, so I'm kind of getting sick with different things in turn.
Ooh.
Which is like, it's like God, the gods do not want me to pass my exams. Annoying. So yeah, hopefully I'll be, you know, back on top form next week.
Yeah, hopefully. That's when do your exams start?
Well, I've already had one,
Oh, okay.
and then I've got another one on the 16th,
Crikey.
and then another one on the 21st, and then that's it for January.
Yeah, that's not good, is it? That's not what you want.
Yeah, I might wait until I've done my 3rd exam before I order XCOM or Far Cry, whatever I decide to go with.
That's a good plan.
Yeah, the best time of year around my college tends to be, you know, the months when you kind of can relax a bit. Sort of well, this time it'll be like March and April.
Yeah. We went on winter break, and I told myself I was gonna go and buy some new games and play some new games. Week and a half. No, I just played Minecraft.
Fair enough.
I did buy some of the Xbox Live sales that they had. I was playing a game recently called Dust.
Ah, yeah.
I don't know what it's about, but I've heard of it.
It's a real pretty game. I mean, I just got done playing Call of Duty with my sister, and then I played that, and I was like, "Whoa, color!"
Half expected you to say it. Half expected you to say that it sounds real purty.
Purdy. It's purdy, y'all.
You got a purty mouth.
Told myself I wasn't gonna speak in a Texan accent. I think half my brain cells just died right there.
Yeah. Well, the same thing happens with me when I drink a little bit. My Yorkshire accent comes out. I mean, what's in your Southern English? How much can you hear my Yorkshire
I can
accent?
hear it, definitely. Yeah. It's not strong, but it's there.
It's ever present.
Yes, yes.
Well, when we, I'm just going to warn you, when we go to escapism and get shit-faced together, it's going to get a whole lot worse.
Oh, yeah. Actually, will I need a translator?
It'll just be like that. Did you watch Michael McIntyre at all?
Yes.
And he's going about when he's like worked with people who've come down from the north and they've lost their accents. They'll be like, "Oh, well, I think that with a drink," and he was doing like an impression of it, and it's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
for a pint."
Yes, I have it.
Takes a
Yes.
sip of the pint. Oh, did I need that? Yeah, it's pretty. It's gonna be something along those lines.
Do either of you intend to come down to the States for the next Escapist Expo?
I'm gonna try. Depends how much money I can save up. Cause thing is, I'm doing some volunteer work that's gonna involve me coming down to America, but that'll probably be closer to next year, like the next expo. So I might end up having to come down to America twice, depending on how much money I can save up. So that might be the tricky thing. I figure, because you know how much airline tickets there and back, do you reckon?
Good 500 quid or so, I reckon. No.
Yeah, if it's 500 quid there and back, I might be able to swing it. Because that way I would need something like 2,000 quid, and I'm currently unemployed. But obviously, like I said, I'm going to do that bar work, and then I might be doing, if I'm very lucky and my pros holds up, might be able to sell some articles to The Escapist.
This is a good idea. I think you should do it.
It will be, because they pay me $250 per article.
And then conversion.
Well, the conversion would be like 175.
Or you could save the dollars for when you're out there.
Well, it'll be in my bank. They're not going to send me wage packets, are they?
I don't know, I got a check the other day.
It'll just, yeah, but they're not going to send me a check internationally. They'll just be like, "Oh, what's your account details? Here we are," and then just wire it to me, I guess.
Fair enough.
A British postman's just gonna tap you on the shoulder. Excuse me.
Oh yeah. You see, our post offices are still fairly old-fashioned. I love that about it.
old-fashioned. How like ours is old-fashioned, but in the terms of
you'll have the postmen just wandering around with their little satchels, nodding to people because they know them. It's quite nice. Mind you, I remember I was having a conversation with a postman who was like a really old local, and he told me the history of my familial nickname, which is JD.
Okay.
Yeah, because my middle name is Donald.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and basically my great-grandfather was called John Donald Sturdy, and yeah, basically everyone called him JD, and it's become like every other generation. Someone has to be called name beginning with J, Donald.
that's like mine. My father and his two other sons and myself, we all start with a J.
Yeah.
My name
Yeah,
was gonna
that's
be Michael, but at the last minute, Dad switched it just after I was born, and Mom wasn't none too pleased about that.
Since I found out that I have a relative called Roland, and therefore it is a somewhat acceptable name, I am tempted to use Roland as a name for my unborn child, just because Dark Tower.
Fair one. Fair one.
Yeah, which Watson gets.
I do massively.
It's a good name.
It's a good name.
Yeah, that and maybe Miles.
Yeah.
Just because then I can like sing him to sleep with, and I would walk 500
Oh.
miles.
Wow. Wow.
Well, the other side of it though is it would be like a really backhanded reference to my sister's boyfriend, who she's probably going to end up marrying, I think, called Giles, and it's something that my dad and me do, that whenever we see him we always refer to him as Miles to his face. And I remember he came over to see our grandparents on Boxing Day one year, and I was talking to like my fairly young cousins, and I was like, "All right, this is Giles, but you've got to call him Miles." They went up to him and like started calling him Miles, started talking to him, and he just like he heard me, and he just gave me a really dirty look. This really normally very reserved and polite person just went, "No, you don't."
Fair enough.
Well, he's a southerner. I've got to do something. Seriously, both my sisters have come back from university, and this is weird because one of them went to York, with really southern accents.
Whoa. She's hardly gone anywhere.
Like I say, well, the other one went to Bath, which is fair enough.
Oh, Bath is a great
But
place.
they both come back with the same accent. But the point is that I say
Bath. 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 Bath.
and she says Bath, then it's like, it's Bath. There's no W in it, there's no R in it, it's Bath.
But Bath is where they have really nice grass and, you know, stuff like that.
There's no R in grass.
No, that would be grass.
Or there wasn't a W in it either. Well, like arse.
Yeah, like arse.
Yeah, but do you say arse like that?
Arse, yeah. I'm from
Really?
I'm from the southwest, of course I do.
Bloody hell, you're the weird southerner, aren't you? all dressed in tartan with your pikes and your Wellington boots.
Why would I be in tartan?
I don't know, just something it was like a Simpsons joke that sprang to mind. It was something like they were at a Civil War reenactment, and it was the North and the South, and aided by the Midwest, and like where they were just like blue and grey, and the Midwest were just dressed in like tartan for some reason. I don't know, it's some abstract thing. The point is you're speaking wrong.
Okay. Okay.
For some reason they're going to start teaching Queen's English in schools, which I'm not really a fan of.
You mean speaking properly in schools?
It
No,
may be,
speaking with an accent in schools. Have you heard the Queen's accent? She sucks.
Why?
It's so... You must know what I'm talking about, because it's like, you know, oh, we are most not amused. It's like, fuck off. I do like the royal family, it's just, by and large, we shouldn't be speaking like that.
I disagree. I disagree. I think we should definitely speak like that more.
I thought you always spoke like that, so.
No.
I do.
Some people. See, this is why we have the phrase, them bloody southerners.
And we have the phrase, northern monkeys. You know. Fine.
Well, you know the whole thing is that we tend to consider you being quite posh.
Yes.
I think it was like a Monty Python sketch, and it was inverting that, and it was a southern family like getting round for tea, and it was like a son had left his father's like real estate business or some such thing to go up and mine coal in Yorkshire, and they were insinuating that he'd come back being really posh because he was a coal miner.
Okay.
Well, and that we got we had a Christmas card this year, and it was on the cover was it was a Yorkshire family having a Christmas dinner, and it was, oh, just because you've just been at one of them there southern universities, and suddenly a pork scrag end with a gibbet of gravy and a sprout ain't good enough for you anymore. The joke is that there's barely anything. Anyway, but yeah, that's what I always liked about Monty Python, is that they. It seems Watson's having some technical difficulties. Jesse, can you still hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, good. You didn't. Hang on. God, that's a bit aggravating. Yeah, Watson's lost his sound. I'll wrap it up. There we go. Just told him that. All right then. This has been one of the more halting failcasts that we've done after my 2-week hiatus of things coming out of my body that I don't want to. Well, see you next time. I guess.
It'll take a moment to get back.
Well, no, he's done
Yep.
now. He's gone. Right, so just. Oh, hello. Oh, he's back now. Bloody hell.
Oh.
I don't.
Am I hit?
Hello. I'd already done an outro as well. Come on, man.
Were you in the middle of one?
Right.
Were you?
I had just finished it.
Oh, sorry. It's like that guy who
Yeah,
just
I
turns
did
up
say-
late, like, hello.
I did say I'll wrap up. Oh.
Is it like the guy who turns
After
up at the pub when you're leaving? You've just finished your drinks, you got your coats on, and he turns up, hi,
Yeah.
and just delays everything. So yeah. So, hi, I'm Watson.
Or like when you're out and someone talks to you on Facebook.
So yeah. So podcast starting now, is it? No. Okay.
Right.
Anyway. Okay then. Goodbye, everybody.
Okay. Goodbye, everyone. This is an hour of your life you'll never get back.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.